Morning light floods the kitchen as Clive stands at the stove, a symphony of sizzling sounds filling the air. Cynthia sits at the kitchen table, cradling a steaming mug of coffee, her gaze peaceful. Clive approaches, a small bouquet of wildflowers in hand, his smile tender as he offers them to Cynthia. Clive drives, his hands tighten on the steering wheel, eyes fixed on the road. A sudden, unwelcome realization hits Clive. Annoyance flashes across Clive's face as he remembers. His lunch. Clive executes a sharp U-turn, tires screeching. A mischievous glint sparks in Clive's eyes. Clive enters his quiet house, the silence amplifying his solitude. He ascends the stairs, unaware of the scene awaiting him. In his bedroom, Clive finds Cynthia in bed with Mark. The mundane lunch bag becomes a symbol of his shock. The courtroom is filled with sterile silence, a stage set for the final act of a dissolving union. Clive and Cynthia sit separated by an immeasurable distance, their silence a deafening testament to unspoken truths. Across the expanse, Cynthia mirrors his composure, her face a carefully constructed mask of indifference. In this theater of separation, excuses and explanations are absent, leaving only the profound weight of what remains unsaid. Years drift by. Clive, now alone, immerses himself in a woodworking project, the scent of wood filling the air. His movements are precise, yet his eyes reveal a mind far away. The piercing ring of the telephone shatters the calm, jolting Clive from his reverie. He snatches the receiver, his brow furrowing as he listens to the voice on the other end. A shadow of concern darkens his face as he learns of Cynthia's urgent plea. Clive drives along the highway, his grip tight on the steering wheel. The tires hum against the asphalt, a soundtrack to his inner turmoil. Clive enters the dim hospital room, the sterile scent heavy in the air. Cynthia lies in the hospital bed, her face pale and drawn. A weak smile touches Cynthia's lips as she sees Clive. Sunlight floods the hospital room, illuminating the stillness as Cynthia sits on the bed, her hands clasped tightly. Clive stands silently by the window, a dark silhouette against the bright light, his back turned to Cynthia. "I'm sorry, Clive. I'm so sorry for everything, for ruining us, for not honoring our wedding vows." Clive sits beside Cynthia, his face a mask of deep-seated resentment. "I admit I hated you for a long time, for what you did to me. I acknowledge your pain, and I too hated myself." Clive tenderly holds Cynthia's hand, struck by its cold fragility. His voice a hushed plea, Clive asks, "Why did you do it?" Cynthia sits on the bed, her hands clasped tightly, her eyes reflecting a storm of regret and shame. "It was loneliness, stupidity, weakness. I thought I could always come back to you, but I couldn't. I thought you would forgive me and we work things out. I am sorry, Clive. I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me." Clive walks out of the hospital, a quiet sadness lingering, yet a hint of lightness in his step. Clive sits on a park bench, watching children play, a sense of quiet observation in his eyes. He breathes deeply, a wave of release washing over him. After 8 years, Clive decided to forgive Cynthia. For the first time in 8 years, Clive felt light and relieved. In his workshop, Clive crafts with wood, a faint smile hinting at newfound peace. He carves, the wood shavings falling around him. Later on in the evening, Clive receives a phone call Cynthia had passed.